So a pretty horrible looking question about small angle approximations here. At least I think it's pretty ghastly. Anyway, let's see how you get on with this. So before we start, let's just remind ourselves of the small angle approximations that we're going to be using. So sine x, if x is a small angle, then sine x is approximately the same as x. Cos x is approximately the same as 1 minus half x squared, and tan x is approximately the same as x. You can check these with your calculator, put in a value of x and a small value for x, and see how close they are. As long as you're in radians, of course. Theta needs to be in radians for these small angle approximations to work. So if we look at the first expression that we're trying to simplify for a small angle, what I'm going to do is replace cos theta with 1 minus a half theta squared and sine theta with theta. So that's what I get when I put those two things in there. And we've got to simplify this. So that's it, simplified. Now you may have left it like that, but we've got to look for other opportunities to possibly simplify. And if you look at the numerator, it does in fact factorize. And then we can cancel the common factor to give the simplified version. And again, that's something that you can check with your calculator. You can put a small value for theta into your calculator with that, and just check that you get a very similar answer to 2 minus the number you thought of. Okay, so let's move on to the second expression here. Sorry, not the second expression there, the second expression here. And what we need to do is find a small angle approximation for tan 3 theta and cos 2 theta. Well, if tan x is x, then tan 3 theta is 3 theta. And if cos x is 1 minus a half x squared, then cos 2 theta is 1 minus a half times 2 theta all squared. So that simplifies to 1 minus 2 theta squared. When I put those two expressions into this, I get this. So tan squared 3 theta is going to be 3 theta all squared, and then times 2, because we've got this 2 here, cos 2 theta is the 1 minus 2 theta squared. So there's the 2, and then there's 1 minus 2 theta squared, and that's the 1 plus tan squared 3 theta. Simplifying that, multiplying the brackets out gives me 2 plus 14 theta squared. Now you might say, well, what about the minus 36 theta to the power 4? But if theta is a small angle, which we're told it is, then theta to the power 4 is going to be very, very small. And we're only talking about approximations here. So that's a very good simplified approximation. And in terms of what they both tend to, as theta tends to 0, well, if you look at the first expression, 2 minus theta, as theta tends to 0, that will get closer and closer to 2. And this also gets closer and closer to 2 as theta gets closer and closer to 0. So there we are, all based on theta being in radians.